Welcome to A Minute with Marcus, your leadership video cast. In this inaugural Minute with Marcus, I want to tell you that over the past several years, there has been no subject, there has been no idea, there has been no concept that has so revolutionized my personal life, my marriage, my family, my business, and ultimately my service to other people than this one thing. Everything rises and falls upon leadership. Now, if you've been thinking about leadership or reading about leadership, blogging about leadership, having conversations about leadership, then you probably know where that thought came from. Yes, Dr. John Maxwell, the foremost leadership expert in the world. When he made that statement, I have to be honest with you, I didn't quite believe it. It sounded true. I could see some viability in it, but everything rises and falls on leadership. Surely there has to be some other factors, some other things. Surely maybe money or character or decisions. And I began to find out as I examined my own experience, my own business experience, and I began to look out and survey the lives of other people, reading countless biographies of great men and infamous men, great women and infamous women. I began to understand that everything does rise and fall on leadership. Countries rise and fall on leadership. Cities, states rise and fall on leadership. Families rise and fall on leadership. Departments within companies. Everything rises and falls on leadership. The quality of leadership determines the quality of outcome, the quality of results, the quality of growth in that particular entity. Now I want you to think about your life for a second. You may have heard that everything rises and falls upon leadership. You may have heard about the pervasiveness of leadership, and you may have mentally assented or consented to the reality that, yeah, it's probably true. But maybe down in your heart, you aren't really convinced yet. I want you to think about this for a second. Do this exercise. Write down the top 3 problems right now that are outstanding in your personal life, whatever it is. The top 3 problems. It could be marital, could be financial, could be child related, could be career related. The top 3 problems right now. Write those 3 things down. Pause this video, write it down. Now, I want you to write down 3 more problems. Think about America as a country or your country, wherever you may be. And write down the top 3 problems that are facing your nation's leaders, that are facing the people in your nation. Pause this video and write those 3 problems down. Now, think about your company, your job, your work, your business. Write down the top 3 problems in your company, your department, or in your business. Pause this video and write down those top 3 problems. Now, you have a total of 9 problems, 3 personal, 3 national, and 3 business-related, professional-related, etc. Now, let me ask you a question. How are any of those problems going to be solved? More money, more time, more resources, more ideas, change of personnel, new people coming in? How are those problems going to be solved? It doesn't matter what solution you come up with. Number 1, you have to come up with it. If you don't come up with it, somebody has to come up with a solution. And if someone comes up with a potential solution, that coming up with a solution is an exercise of leadership. The idea to solve the problem, the strategy to solve the problem, the gathering of the people or the resources to solve the problem, the execution of the strategy, the implementation of the idea, the follow-up, the oversight of the strategy and the idea, and ultimately the culmination, the completion of the idea. Everything rises and falls on leadership. I'm thinking about William Wilberforce and the abolition of the slave trade in Great Britain. And Great Britain was the most powerful country in the world at that time in the 19th century. And William Wilberforce became a committed Christian and gave his life to seeing the slave trade abolished. him and a handful of other people and scores of other external relationships over a period of 40, 50 years eventually culminated in the slave trade being abolished in Great Britain. Now, someone could have sat around and said the slave trade needs to be abolished. That's a problem. But somebody had to do something about it. What about repairing national confidence after the stock market crash in 1929? What about the recent Great Recession? What about recovering American confidence after 9/11? What about your local municipality? What about improving the school district and the quality of education in your local area? What about your marriage? What about your children? What about your husband or your wife? What about adding value to them? How do we get better? How do things change? How do problems get solved? Leadership causes everything to rise or everything to fall. Your department needs leadership. Your business needs leadership. Your sales team needs leadership. Your marketing team needs leadership. Your company, leadership. Politics, government, healthcare, leadership. The quality of leadership determines the quality of outcomes. And that's true personally, and it's true professionally, whether you like it or not. Your company is going to grow because you grow your leadership skill set and acumen within your company. You can invest in new technology. You can invest in new property, plant, equipment. You can invest in new hard skills, etc. But guess what? You're going to need people to manage those things. You're going to need people. You're going to need people to lead, oversee, manage, direct, implement, follow up, correct, course correct. Does that make sense? You're going to need people. And leadership is that pervasive factor that causes things to succeed. Nothing succeeds without a leader, but everything fails without a leader. If your family fails, someone didn't lead. If your business fails, someone didn't lead. If your department doesn't reach its goals, someone didn't lead. That's the bottom line. John Maxwell says the most appreciable asset within a company is its people. Now, I know your property can grow in value. I know you can take some depreciation off certain items, so on and so forth. But making an investment in your people, their communication skill, their problem-solving skill, their ability to initiate, build rapport, build relationships, manage stress, solve problems, handle complex communication issues, deal with challenging relationships productively and profitably, create ideas, think tank sessions to conceptualize new ideas, viable ideas, valuable ideas, implement those ideas, resource those ideas, fund those ideas, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. If your people are decreasing, ultimately, any investment in other resources, other capital resources is ultimately going to be for no aim. An investment in your people is the greatest investment that any company can make. The investment in yourself as a leader is the greatest investment an entrepreneur can make. And even at the family level, an investment in the husband and the wife getting better, even the children. It's going to make the whole family better. Ladies and gentlemen, on this Minute with Marcus and these subsequent video casts, you're going to find out why I believe, and not just me, but why wise people, credible people understand that everything rises and falls upon leadership. I look forward to taking this journey